everybody, it's Gracie. Welcome back to my channel. This is my March 2018 bullet journal plan with me video. If you are new, be sure to click the button down below to subscribe. Also, you'll see a little bell icon where if you click that, you will be notified every time I post a new video. So it is March. I can hardly believe it, but I'm so excited because that means that we are at the very beginning of springtime, and I'm so ready. I'm a warm weather girl, so I'm not into winter at all. So I'm super excited for March. For my March theme, I wasn't really feeling the whole Shamrock St. Patrick's Day idea, but I definitely associate the color green with March. So as I started thinking about what I wanted my theme to be, I went back to kind of my vision of what I want my bullet journal theme to be overall for 2018. I'm trying to make it very adventure, outdoors theme. So I started thinking about what I could do that was green, that invoked that same kind of vision I had for myself, and I decided to go with something kind of tropical, and I ended up going with a palm tree. What I'm doing here is I'm using my Winsor and Newton gouache paints to paint the background and give it a very watercolory feel. What I ended up doing here was adding a whole lot of wet paint to the top of the page, and you're going to see me in a moment go in with a dry paintbrush in a downward motion, and what it ended up doing was giving it a very dyed kind of boho look, which I adore. So I was very excited with the way that turned out, and then I ended up painting the palm tree over that. So I will let you go ahead and watch me finish painting my cover page, and I will be back with you all to talk you through how I set up my bullet journal for March 2018. so here's my finished March cover page, and I just love it. It's exactly the tropical boho look I was going for. I use watercolor paper to do my paintings for each month's bullet journal cover page, so I use washi tape to kind of cover up the edges so they don't end up getting worn or torn out as the month goes on. So right here, I'm just completing the title to my March cover page. I'm consolidating a little bit. I'm doing things a little bit different in March than I did in February. If you want to see my February plan with me, I will link that video down below. But basically what I ended up doing here is combining 2 pages into one basically. Instead of having the cover page be separate and then doing 2 months for the month at a glance, I ended up putting the cover page on the left page and the monthly spread as just 1 page on the right, if that makes sense. And as you can see, once again, I messed up my monthly calendar. This is the 2nd month in a row I did that. So just like last time, I went to the back of my journal, cut out a little bit, and just covered it up. It doesn't look perfect, but maybe in April we'll have better luck making the calendar. We'll see. So right here, I'm just making my boxes just like I did for February for monthly tasks and monthly favorites. This is something I do every month, and it's really come in handy for me to just be able to see that as a month overall. And I like to keep track of my Instagram followers and my YouTube subscribers on this page. So that's what I'm making here. And just like last time, I like to have a separate spot for goals, because of course goals and tasks are different. This is more of a personal, these are things I hope to accomplish as opposed to things to do. And then just to kind of fill up the blank space that I had on this page, I went ahead and just wrote a scripture verse for the month. I did this for February and I really liked it. So this is kind of the verse that I've chosen for myself for the month of March. And this is how it turned out. I really like the consolidated pages where it's just a month at a glance on one page. I just think aesthetically having the cover page and the month at a glance together like that make it really aesthetically pleasing. Now I'm just setting up my March habit tracker. This is the classic bullet journal setup for tracking our habits, and I really love this. This works great for me, so that's what I'm filling out here. And I always start at the end from the last day of the month to the start, and that way I have plenty of room on the left side to write whatever habits I'm wanting to keep track of. But this way I don't accidentally run out of room for each day to be included. And my habit tracker ends up being very experimental each and every month, because some months I track some habits, some I don't. I added a lot of new ones to this month, so we'll see how I like it. But generally, I found this layout for my habit tracker to be really successful, and I use it every day. It really works well for me. And it's kind of late in the video to be including this, but I am just getting over a cold. So if my voice sounds kind of funny, I apologize, but that's why. Luckily, I've not been stricken with the flu that everybody's getting, but I did manage to get myself a cold, so I'm sorry if my voice sounds kind of funny. What I am setting up here is going to be my monthly sleep tracker there on the top, and then my monthly mood tracker on the bottom. This is a completely new thing for me. I've done mood trackers before, but I've never done a sleep tracker, and I've never done this layout for a mood tracker. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to end up turning out. The sleep tracker is going to be a line graph where I actually put a dot over each day for how many hours of sleep I got. And then for my mood tracker, I have discovered something about myself. I keep that black micron pen you see me using there with me with my bullet journal 24/7 all the time. I do not keep all of my colored pencils and all my colored pens with me, however. So what I've discovered about myself is if I force myself to use those colored pencils and colored pens to fill things out, I end up getting lazy or not doing it as effectively as I could. So what I decided to do to include that color part of the mood tracker was put little colored dots over on the left, and then I will actually fill those in exactly the same as my habit tracker with my Micron pen. So I will track my moods very similarly to how I do my habit tracker. And then of course the line graph for the sleep tracker. I put those two together because I'm interested to see if my sleep patterns are affecting my moods. I have a feeling they are, but it'll be interesting to actually see the hard data. Now I am moving on to my weekly spread, and each week and each day of the week are the same for all 3 or 4 weeks of March. So I won't show you every week, but this is how I am setting up my week at a glance for March. This is going to be very similar to how I did February, except I've cleaned it up a little bit, so it's not quite as much on one page. I just put a little calendar on the left there, and I highlight the week in question. I associate the start of the week with Monday. I know this is going to drive some crazy, and that's fine. You can start on whatever day you want to. If you're like me and you like to start on Monday, you can do that. If you like to start on the actual first day of the month, you can do that too. This is just my personal preference with my work schedule and everything. It just makes it a lot easier to actually start the week at a glance on a Monday. So I wrote my little to-do list, and I do my 2 lines a day where I journal about each day in 2 lines. That was really fun. I enjoyed that in February, so I am carrying that on to March. And then here I'm just setting up my daily log, and this is definitely my spread I use the most often. This is where I fill out my to-do list, any notes that I want to keep track of for the day. It all goes right here, and I don't need a whole lot of space, so each day definitely doesn't get its own page. This is basically how I do each day, and as you can see, a nice smudge there, but oh well. And I set up each and every week like this, Monday through Sunday. And I love this layout. It just works really, really well for me. I can cram so much in these little boxes. It just, honestly, the bullet journal has changed my life, and it's made me so much more productive. And this spread right here is why. So that is basically it. I'm sure I'll end up adding more collections for March as we go along. I will show those to you when I do my April setup. But this is basically how March ended up looking, and I just love it. It gave me a very light, tropical, boho feeling, very clean lines, and I just really, really enjoyed setting up my March spreads. So hopefully this gives you some ideas of some things that you can implement for March. I'll tell you when I set up April how I like the sleep tracker and my mood tracker together like this. I have a feeling this will be very revealing, so we will see how that goes. And as I said, this is basically what keeps me accountable and it keeps me productive. I will be doing a video coming up on why bullet journaling works for me, some of the things that I have learned work and do not work, because I didn't start bullet journaling until September 2017, and honestly it's rocked my world. Everything from using the highlighters to highlight your to-do list, the different symbols that you use to cross things off when you're done. I've just learned a bunch along the way, what does and what does not work for me. I am hugely passionate about bullet journaling, and I cannot wait to show you upcoming videos. So again, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below with any suggestions that you have for any future themes that you would like to see me paint here in my bullet journal. Thank you so much again for stopping by, and I will see you again next time.